Hey, everyone. Welcome to the last day. Actually, it's the day before the last day, but this is the official last day of the AuthorTube tour with Christy and Julie. I am so excited that you have been rocking with me since April the 1st, or the first Saturday in April. I'm excited that you guys have joined me, and I pray that you have learned a plethora of information to help you make it as a writer. Okay. And so today we are having with us a guest panelist, none other than, author Dr. Bettina Bunton. I cannot wait for you all to hear the share that she has to share with us on today to help you make it as a writer. So you know what it is. Do me this favor. Go ahead and grab your YouTube besties. Let them know that we are here on today, learning all that we need to learn so that we can make it as a writer. Okay, so I'm excited. I know that you guys are charged up. You have been following me. You have been, part of this atmosphere for this is the 4th week. So let me know in the comments if this is your 3rd week because you have joined a week later. This is your 2nd week. Is this your 4th week? You have been rocking with me since day one. And we're going to just say welcome to each and every one of you for joining me on this day. Okay, I'm excited. We're gearing up to another great episode, or another great broadcast, if you would say. And to have you with me on this journey has been such a pleasure. It has been such a joy. It has been such an inspiring moment to share with you who I am as a writer, as an author, and not just send me as a know me as the the chef, the cook, or the chef, the inspirational speaker for single moms, but get to know me in another way, another aspect and another facet. So I am excited on today that you guys are here with me. You all know how we do it on this evening. Get your tea, get your coffee, get your snacks, whatever it is that you're in need of to make yourself comfortable. And don't forget your notepad. Get your pen or whatever device you're going to be using to take copious amounts of notes, because when we come back from this break, listen, I am going to yield the floor to the incomparable Dr. Bettina Bunton. Listen, I love this lady. I follow her from the distance. She's my mentor from a distance, and I'm excited to share the stage with her and with you all as well, because we know we can face a lot of challenges when we're trying to make it as something, make it as an entrepreneur, make it in business, make it in ministry, make it as a woman, and not let alone a single mom trying to make it in all of these different types of areas of our life. And I want to ensure that we get the most that we are in need of, the most information, the most, redirection, the most, empowerment that we can get. So this is what this AuthorTube is all about. It's not just about me and you knowing me as a writer, knowing me as an author, but it's a place for you to become empowered, that you can get your all the things that you're in need, all of the fields that you're in need of. So when we come back from this 30-second break, we are going to be joined by the one and only Dr. Bettina Bunton. And I cannot wait for you guys to hear the share, hear the information, hear the empowerment, hear the transformational, message that she has to help us or help you as a writer. Okay, so we will be back in 30 seconds. All right. And I will see you shortly. you guys. And as promised, we are here with the one and only Dr. Bettina Bunton. And I am like so overwhelmed right now with excitement and joy and all of the positives of life, for her showing up with me in this moment. So we're going to bring her on stage so that she can introduce herself. She has a lot of great experience, wisdom, and a whole lot of just, information that I love listening to her. She's not only, an author, but she is a, powerhouse in ministry. She's also an entrepreneur. She's a single mom, and she is doing it all. And I absolutely love her energy and the way that she go forth and the way that she pour into people. Yeah, I'm going to cry because she spoke a word of life into me. I don't even know if she remembers this, but it was actually 2 years ago. We was in the middle of a pandemic. And so I was actually traveling back and forth from Texas to Mississippi. That is a 13-hour drive I would take. And I was taking this pretty much every maybe 2 or 3 days. I was taking this drive to and from Texas to Mississippi, trying to finish my culinary degree. And she spoke a word that, because of my faith, that God was going to answer prayers. I have it all written down. And she did not know that everything she was speaking of, I had previously written in my Bible. I had a list of everything that she was speaking into my life. And I'm just letting you guys know that not only is she just this awesome, person, woman, single mom, entrepreneur, but she hears God. And I love the fact that she can pour, and she doesn't really have to know you, but she just hears God and she's obedient to what God has to say. So you all know how we do it. Listen, I'm going to give her a chance to introduce herself even more, but I like to, kind of set the atmosphere with a little dancey dance, just so that we can get ourselves, in the right atmosphere. I love just, giving time for us to just shake everything off and just get, and how I don't dance, but I do this, I do this and I do this. Whatever you got whatever it is that works for you, just go ahead and free yourself, get yourself all together, go ahead and get whatever you are in need of. Put your phone on DND, make sure the children are where they need to be, and make sure that you are seated at the computer or wherever device you're using so you can get all of the information that you're in need of on today to help you make it as a writer, because that's what it's all about, making it as a writer. I'm excited. I'm excited about your life. I'm excited about your future. I'm excited about your right now. I'm excited about the transformation that is going to be taking place. I'm excited about the empowerment that you're going to be receiving. I'm excited. And we're going to make sure that she has all the time that she needs, because I have 3 categories. Listen, that we're going to be talking about 3 different things that I want to tap into so that you can make it as a writer. And I know maybe you are thinking about marketing and putting your book out there, but there's some inside work that needs to be done as well to make it as a writer. There's some emotional things that goes along with making it as a writer, a mental space that you need to be in to make it as a writer. And, we're going to hear how it all works together, how you can harmonize who you are. If you're a multi-passionate entrepreneur, a multi-passionate person, God has given you many talents, and you're trying to figure out, like, I want to be a writer, but I'm also this, I'm also that, I also got this going on, I'm also a single mom, I'm also A, B, and C. How do we make it as a writer? Get ready, because we're going to get into that. I'm going to give you guys 5 more seconds. I do this. And if I could do the running man, I would do the running man too, but I don't know how to do the running man. I think I have 2 left feet, 2 left feet. So I don't know. So but meet me in church. I got you, boo. So 5, 4, go ahead and get it out. I told you my other one. I like to have fun. I like to love on people, and I like for us to be great. So are you ready to be great? Are you ready? Because I'm ready. I think you're ready. I think you're ready. So none other than the lovely Dr. Bettina C. Bunton. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Hello. First, let me say thank you, Christy, for this invitation to this awesome conversation and platform. I love you very much. I'm very proud of you. Thank you for doing this and inviting me. Keep pushing and keep pressing because this is absolutely amazing. I sense the joy of the Lord on this broadcast, and I'm excited to be here. Like she said, my name is Dr. Bettina Bunton, and I am a single mother. I'm also an entrepreneur. I am an employee at a large tech company. I'm a pastor, a mentor to many. I have written two books. I'm on my third book right now. And let's see, I am, when in regards to entrepreneurship, I have a few businesses that I actually manage at the moment and looking to do another one. I don't know how I'm going to do it with my schedule. I'm actually pastoring two churches. I am the senior pastor of Victorious Living Christian Ministries, and I am the supernatural pastor at Reformation Memphis under my pastor, Apostle Brandon Clack. And so I'm managing and leading at both churches by the grace of God. And so I'm excited to be here, excited to have this conversation and share a few nuggets that I have on my heart.
Oh, I'm having to soak all of this in. Okay, I hope you guys are hearing this. You can have it all. Someone said that being a woman or a single mother, you cannot have it all. You cannot have it all. But I am here, and she's here to let you know. I love having the conversation because I like talking to people. So wherever I go, even if it's on this type of platform, I'm always talking as if I'm talking to a large crowd because I never know who is going to show up, hit the replay, and they need to hear this, that they can have it all, because we give up so easily because of what other people say. Oh, it's one or the other. You being a single mom, you cannot do this, you can't do that. You just got to focus here. And nowhere in the word of God have I heard that. Nowhere in, it's only society. And we have to be careful of what society is speaking into our ears, especially being a single mother of color. Okay, because that stereotype right there is very oppressive. It keeps us from rising. It keeps us from understanding that God put many talents in us and he does not want us to bury anything. But because of the way society is and how it looks down on single moms of color, and they want to keep single moms of color in bondage. You can see this in the workplace. You can see it with the fair wage and how it is such a huge gap in that. And so, Dr. Bettina Bunton, you mentioned that you are also you have a 9 to 5, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And so understanding how to have it all and making it as a writer, what does this look like to you? What type of challenges have you had to face being a 9 to 5, being a single mom, being a woman of color? Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I would have to say, and we can get to the relationship part first, but
Mhm.
in regards to my personal management, so time management can be a challenge. So if I'm working 9 to 5, then I also have to study to preach. I also am a mother. I'm also take care of my mother, and then
Oh, wow.
managing time for my businesses. And one business takes time for me to do because I design websites and marketing material, and I do consults and things of that nature. And I try to be all things to all people, but you cannot be all things to all people all the time. And so I've learned to manage my time by prioritizing depending on the day. And so, for example, I can't work on my church business all day, every day, even though church is all the time, it's 24/7. So sometimes I have to put that on pause so I can focus on my job. And then I can
Mhm.
focus on my business and I focus on my daughter. When my daughter calls, everything stops. When my family is in need, everything stops. And I'm also cognizant that although I may not do it right all the time, I'm going to always do my best to try to make it right. And so a lot of times people want you and they want your time, but there are some things you have to say no to so that you can say yes to the things that God has for you.
Amazing. Like, there are things that you have to say no to in order to say yes to the things that you want to say yes to or you need to say yes to. I hope you guys are getting this. I hope you guys are writing this down because this is going to help you moving forward and understanding, as she mentioned, organizing, prioritizing. I like to call this what I tell other people or other single moms or people in general that ask me, how do we manage everything, being a single mom, I homeschool, and all these other aspects of my life? Family first. I have a family first plan. And so because I have a family first plan, I operate out of that plan, and that lets me know when other things that maybe people are pulling at me to do, let's look at my family first and see how that looks, and then I also have a Christy first plan. Because
Mm,
if Christy is not whole and healed and not well rested, I cannot effectively give into these other areas. So prioritizing, organizing, even when it comes to work, because I used to have a 9 to 5. Now I'm full time in what I do. And so understanding how to manage that. And so what Dr. Bettina Bunton was saying is very, very key to being a successful single mom. Okay, let's talk about the other part. Let's dig into, some of the challenges that
yeah.
you had to face in being in business, in working a 9 to 5, the challenges that was there and how you overcame them, like some practical things that you had to do.
Sure. A lot of challenges that we face have to do with, of course, things unseen. So the spiritual world. So you have to make sure that your prayer life is intact and your devotion with God is intact. But on top of that, a lot of challenges that we face, or that I have faced in business, in entrepreneurship, on my job, and in ministry, are people. And so there's the people factor. And so what I have learned to realize is that although we have to work with people, work for people, work under people, um, people can people. That's what I like to say that all the time. People be people in. That doesn't mean that they hate you. That doesn't mean that they are a bad person. But a lot of times people are going to always look out for themselves. So, like you said, Christy, you have to also prioritize yourself. The Bible says it like this: love God, love others as you love yourself. And so, one of the challenges I used to face all the time was being a people pleaser. And so, when I was trying to move up the corporate ladder, I want to do everything all the time to people please. Even in my friendships and my relationships, I was a people pleaser. And when you are a people pleaser, you can sometimes be left with dust. You can be empty. You can feel like nothing that you do is ever good enough. And so you have to make sure that you have healthy boundaries. And so I've had to learn how to put healthy boundaries in place. I've also dealt with, because I am a woman, people underestimating me, especially in the workforce. And so, because where I work is a tech company, right? And so there are a lot of engineers that I work with, a lot of executives that I work with, and there are not a lot of African American females in my field. And so, when they see my face before I open my mouth, they may have a preconceived notion, or they may prejudge me before they get to know me. And so once they get to know my work ethic, and once they get to know who I am, and that nothing they can say can make me come out of character, because in my job or in the workplace, I've been tested with pushing me out of character. And so I'll do my best not to ever come out of character, and make sure that I don't discredit the gospel. But I also understand that HR is just a phone call away. And so I've learned how to put healthy boundaries even in there, like, hey guys, I'm going to do my part. Just, make sure that you're respectful, because I'm going to be respectful for you. And if you're not, I'm definitely going to pick up the phone and call human resources. And I can say with a smile, and they don't even know that I literally put them in check.
I love it. I love it. You don't have to come out of character, for what's going on in your atmosphere. I love setting the atmosphere. I love taking control over the atmosphere, understanding what I'm walking into, and knowing that it's not me, it's the individual. As you stated earlier, people be peopling. And when you understand that, you know how to maneuver. You know how to go in, okay, people gonna people, and there's nothing for me to get all, crazy and, act a fool over. So how do I want to engage with
Right.
people? What type of mentality do I need? What type of spiritual, wisdom that I need? Okay, God, what is the spiritual gift, or the fruit of the spirit that I need to operate in today? And I always like to look at people, as you say, people be people, and that's, everybody is a soul. And so
Yes.
just because, they're acting this type of way, let's look at the deeper behind it. What's going on with the individual? It's
Right.
not, are they having issues at home? Are they just having a rough day because a family member could have passed, or something that is going on? And that helps me to stay in check. That helps me not to snap at people and slap people's faces. I'm just saying, it helps me to keep my hands to myself and my words to
Yes,
myself. Let my speech be always with grace, Lord, because I
yes,
need all of the grace today. I need
yes,
it. I need every drop that you have, Jesus, because I'm
yes,
singing, because it's right there on
absolutely,
the okay. So understanding the atmosphere and people is really key. The word of God let us know to know those that labor among you. And it's not
Mhm.
just talking about in church, knowing
Right,
those that labor among you on your job, in the community, wherever you are, understanding, what type of, spirit they're working out of, or what type of person or they are, so yeah, it's a lot in understanding. You said it so well. Just understanding and knowing who you are, and knowing that HR is on speed dial, knowing
absolutely,
that you have power, you have the authority, you don't have to come out of character. That HR, I feel like the word of God let us know that that's where I'm gonna say it in these terms, where the law is there for us, for those that are righteous. So that is a law in your workplace, and if you
absolutely,
understand how to utilize that law that is there, then you will always have authority on your side, and you don't have to come out of character. People will
absolutely.
speak up and people will fight for you, and there is a right way that you will see the results that you are in need of. So anything else you would like to share on that?
Sure, sure. I'll share this too, and I'll be even more candid. I've also been in a season, and I was an entrepreneur completely for like 3.5 years. So I've been where you are. And the first year and a half was extremely difficult. I mean, it was difficult. It was day by day. Like, okay, am I going to get a client? Is this going to work out? Am I going to get
Mhm.
paid today? Are we going to be able to eat well? And so entrepreneurship can be difficult, especially when you're just starting. And so by a year and a half, into it, I started to get contracts and I started to get clients that were on a regular basis. And then the business started to grow. And so I will say that one of the challenges in regards to entrepreneurship and even single parenting is patience and pacing yourself, understanding that somebody else's success may not be your success, and just understanding it may take a different pace. They may be an overnight success, but yours may take a few months or take a couple of years. I had to be patient with myself and trust God the entire way. And there were some days I wanted to give up. There were some days I wanted to throw in the towel, even now. But what keeps me steadfast and focused outside of my relationship with God and being obedient is my daughter. There are some days where I wanted to come out of character, but I'm like, I need this job because I got to take care of my baby. I don't want to come out of character at church because I don't want my daughter to see it. And then she has that in the back of her mind, and then she hates church. And so a lot of my decisions were because of, me being a mother. And I will say this, when I was much younger, I'm not, who I am today is not who I was when I was younger. Oh no, I was something. The way I go hard in church is how I was out there in the world. But when
Yeah.
I became a mother, I told God,
Mhm.
I'll put away childish things, and you tell me how to parent this daughter. You give me the steps and the principles, and I'll follow you every day. That didn't mean that I didn't make mistakes, but a lot of decisions I made in regards to business and jobs and character building was for my daughter, to make sure that
Mhm.
she had an example, to make sure that she could lean on me. And if I could do it, she could do it, and even better. And so a lot of the decisions that I make in life and I have made in life was to have a better life for her, and even also for my mother.
Mhm. Amazing. I love it. You have to, as you stated, put away childish things,
Yeah.
because we see a lot of people who are becoming having children. I won't just say mothers, having children, but they are still in a, well, I didn't get to live my life type
Yeah.
of mentality. And it really damages and it really takes away from this being able to see life in a different, perspective, because you have a child, being able to see God in a way uniquely to your situation, and how he still allows you to be single, be a woman and still be a mother. And
Right.
so some people try to, like, I'm not a single, I'm no longer, well, how can I put this? I can't live my life the way I want to live because I'm a mother. So they are at tug of war. They're
Yeah.
at tug of war between single mom and single woman. I'm still
Yeah.
a woman, and they don't know how to combine all that stuff. So I think you have done a beautiful job at that. I watch and I, look at how you still take care of yourself. They, a lot of single moms, they feel as if they got to sacrifice for their child, instead of knowing how to bring it all together, embrace it, harmonize it. You can still, get your hair done. You can still have A, B, and C, but it's also in understanding how to prioritize these things.
Right.
It don't take away from you being a woman. So you
Right.
don't have to let yourself go. You can still be this high value woman. You can still be this woman of worth. You can still be this woman that has that same vision she had pre-child, and just learning how to work it all together. Let it flow.
Absolutely.
And you do a beautiful job at that.
I do
You
my
do a
best by
beautiful.
the grace of God.
So we're going to kind of look in this and bring this all into, making it as a writer. What does that look like to you? Everything that we have talked about, you have shared because you're an author. What does making it as a writer, what does that look like to you, so that you can be your third book, right? You're getting ready
Yeah,
to
I'm
do.
working on my third book. Yeah. Yeah.
What does it look like to you, making it as a writer with everything that you have stated? And now this author of you become an author, a
Well,
writer.
I'll say this. So, my job, whether it's at work, because I work in marketing, although it's a tech company, I work in the marketing part of it, as a pastor and a preacher, as a prophetic voice, as an intercessor, all of that is in one category, and that's communication. Whether I'm
Mhm,
communicating to God in prayer, or whether I'm communicating on behalf of God as a preacher, or I'm communicating what my company does and how we can help you as a customer, is all communication. And so, if I'm a communicator, then that means what I'm doing or what I'm communicating in my sermons, I can put on paper. What I'm communicating
mhm,
in my Bible study, I can put on paper. What I've experienced, I can put on paper. And so when I wrote my first book, we were in the middle of the pandemic. The pandemic had just started. And
mhm,
so it started around March 2020. And I wrote my book around my birthday in May of 2020. And so I sat down. We were working, I was full time in the office, and then I went full time at home, of course, in the pandemic at first. And so I was like, okay, I have a few days off. We're working from home. I want to get this book done. And so I will say this, just getting it out, getting it on paper, that is when you become an author. The moment you get it off of you, the moment you get it out of your belly, off of your mind, you put it on paper. It does not have to be perfect. That's why they have editors. It does not have to have the right alignment, it doesn't have to have the right grammar. That's why you have technical writers that can help you with the editing and all of that. And publishers have people that can help edit. And so for me, making it as the author was just getting the first book out there. And once you get the first book done, it's easier to do the other ones. So
mhm.
got the first book done by the grace of God. My cousin is a technical writer, and so she was able to edit the book, and then I self-published. And so I saved money on the publishing. Now, of course, I don't get all the advertising if I went with, large business, but I just put it out on social media and I shared it, via text message, and I still make money in my sleep. Every time I make a post about the prophetic, and I'll put, because my first book was about the prophetic. Somebody buys the book, and so I'll wake up to Amazon checks in my inbox, and I'm grateful for that. And so when you put it out there, when you write that first book, then you kind of cross that hurdle. The second book it was an ebook, and so I talked about nightmares and how to heal from nightmares. And so I haven't publicized that one as much. I need to, of course. And the third book I'm working on is a manual on prayer. And so all of that, I do need to make some tools on marketing, but I have to get these books done to obey God. And so I'll say, number one, get it out there. That's when you make it as author. Putting it on paper doesn't have to be perfect. Number two, when you obey God, when you know that the Lord is pushing you to get this out there, whether it's about something that you do or whether it's something you experience, putting it on paper, it gets you to this level of, if I can do this, I can do almost anything. Because writing a book is not easy. The publishing part, we can get past that. It's the writing part, because you have to feel those emotions. You have to go through those memories again. So as you're writing, you're also healing. So that's what it also means to make it as an author, to heal from the experiences that you may be writing about. When in my first book, I talked about being able to hear from God at a young age. And I was talking about how I would know some things in advance. I would know when people were about to pass away. And that was difficult for me to write about and go back into those emotions and memories. But getting it out on paper, not only did I heal, but I get testimonies of, man, I experienced that too. And so I get people saying, I know I'm not crazy now. I know it was just prophetic. And so that's one of the blessings of being able to be an author. So when you make it as an author, it's number one, when you put it on paper. Number two, when you know that you've obeyed God. And number three, when it helps people.
Amazing. I love those steps. I love the tips. I love you even talking on, writing heals. It helps you to heal. And in return, it will help someone else to heal over whatever, obstacle that they may be facing. Maybe it's fear of just who's going to read my book, who's going to want to know what I have to share. Is this worth, putting it out? And so sometimes that can make a writer, go back into their shell and not write and not put it out there, but they know they have this burning, desire or passion to write about it, to share their story, to get out there what it is that they have. Maybe it's in finances, maybe it's in parenting, maybe it is in, marketing, whatever expertise or whatever you have been faced with your pain, and you see that your pain, can serve someone else in their purpose to help them to overcome their challenges. So, making it as a writer is it's a lot of layers, I feel like, to that. There's
Yes.
a lot of layers that you have to deal with before, just actually, as you stated, publishing the book. Sometimes you may stop. Did you want to stop writing because you did, some of the things that you were assigned to write was like, I don't even want to talk about that. I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to write it. That's how much I don't want to go there. I don't even want to. How did you make it past that? What did you do?
So, well, I have this inner resilience of, I can't even explain it. It's more of like, devil, you won't win. And so I know
Mm,
that sometimes my discouragement as a writer, my lack of focus, or my desire or lack of desire to write is a lot of times an attack. So if you write this book and it helps people, of course, the enemy doesn't want that to happen. And so once I realized, oh, wait, this is an attack, it helps me to push forward. And so, how I got through it, I will say this, is I wrote a little bit at a time. I wrote what I
mm,
could write. I couldn't sit down and, like on the second book, when I wrote on nightmares, that was not easy. It was not easy for me because I'm a dreamer. And so I dream all the time. And every now and then I have nightmares. So I had to like revisit, I had to like give tools that I personally use, and then write out prayers to help you break from nightmares or get breakthrough from my nightmares. That was not easy. And so I had to pause. I had to stop and like step away from it for a couple of days and then come back to it. And at some point I was like, I gotta finish this. That if I'm being challenged in this area, that means this book has purpose. And so I want
mhm,
you to remember this. If you're seeing this, or you may be watching this replay and you're having fatigue in writing, or mental fatigue, or you're discouraged, just remember that you have purpose. Your book has purpose. You have to get it out. You have to write it. You have to finish it. So do not allow any attack or any distractions to keep you from writing. Even if you have to just write a sentence a day, make sure you keep
mhm.
writing. So I would say that's my encouragement, just to keep writing.
Just keep writing. That's amazing encouragement, because we can allow, maybe we're sharing our book with someone else, or our idea with someone else, and they are the ones that's saying, ain't nobody want to listen to that, don't nobody want to hear that, but just keep writing anyway, because that is an attack to make you stop. But if you're looking at it from what you just spoke about, then you know that it needs to be written, it needs to be out there. You need to share what you have to share, because attacks come from many different angles. It's not just your own insecurities or your own, thinking and your own, but people can come into your life and your hearing when you're sharing, and tell you that, hey, you don't need to write that, or nobody want to listen to
Yes.
it. Write it in this way instead of okay. And I'm going to get ready to end, because I know that I think I mentioned that 2:30, or we have a 30, unless you want to continue to go a little bit farther, because I keep having questions. I keep having
You can ask. You can ask. I do
okay.
want to talk about that though. I want to talk about your inner circle, and as a writer, how important it is. If you don't mind, if you don't mind.
That's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, so let's share that. Tell us about that part.
So it's so important as an author, entrepreneur, whatever you do, especially as an author, that you have to make sure that your core inner circle is a circle of supporters, and not dream stealers, and not dream
Mm,
killers, and not distractions. Because some people, as awesome as they are, can be distractions and be detractors. What I mean by that is, if they're always pulling from you so that you don't have time to write, then they don't need to be in
Mhm.
your inner circle at this time. If they're always telling you something negative about what you're writing or you shouldn't write it, then then they may not need to be in your inner circle in regards to writing. So whenever I think about a book, it takes me a little time because I'll go into prayer, and when I get a passion for it, I'll write out, a couple of things. But I'm very careful on what I share. I'm very private. And so most people don't know I'm writing until I'm done. So I'll
Mhm.
share with my mother, who I know has my best interest at heart, with
Mhm.
my sister, best friend, who I know has my back, no doubt about it. And that's pretty much it, because I've learned that if you share with too many people, that
Mhm.
your feedback, you had to be careful about your feedback. So I made the mistake of sharing some details of visions and ideas that I had, and someone stole it. Now it's fine. God will give me new visions and ideas. It's okay. But I didn't want that to happen again. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to share it with people I know for a fact that I can trust. Now I'm saying
Mhm.
that because, and there's biblical precedence to this. That's what happened with Joseph. Now I know that Joseph told his brothers, and they sold him to, into slavery, and he got to Egypt. He eventually got to the palace. But what if he had just kept his mouth closed? What if he had
Mhm.
never shared his dream? What if he took it to God? Like, what does that mean? Instead of just coming out and blurting out his dream to his brothers. And so I think there are some pits and some pitfalls we can avoid when we don't overshare. And so you have to
Mhm.
make sure that your inner core circle is legit. And I'm gonna say it like this: that you got to stop telling Judas what you should tell Peter.
Point blank.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So
That's
we
all I
have
have.
yeah. So is there anyone, if you have any questions for Dr. Bettina Button, please leave them in the chat in the comments so that she may be able to answer those questions. We're talking about making it as a writer. And if you are a multi-passionate person, and you're trying to figure out how to make it as a writer, you may have the wrong inner circle. You may be working a 9 to 5 and you don't know how to prioritize your time to make it as a writer. And if you are a single mom and you are having all of these, different talents about yourself, and you're trying to figure out how can I make it as a writer. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, but make sure you're subscribed, because the only way you can leave your comments is if you are a subscriber. And we want to make sure that you get the direction, the guidance, the help that you are in need of, so that you can make it as a writer. So hit that subscribe button, and also make sure that you're following Dr. Bunton on all of her social media platforms. I know she's on LinkedIn. I know she is on Facebook, and I think she could share all the other ways that you can connect with her. I have her church information where you can connect with her in that aspect on the scroll. So, is there any other ways that we can connect with you outside of?
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure, sure. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I actually have a TikTok,
TikTok.
LinkedIn for sure. That's a good one, especially if it has to do with professionalism. I also have BCB Ministries, and so you can look up my information there on BettinaCBunton.com, and then of course the church, which you have at the bottom. So those are all the ways that you can get in touch with me. But I'm very approachable. If you're in the Austin area and you're looking for a place to worship, or you just want to chat with me, every Sunday I'm there, and I'm definitely approachable. I stay at the altar at the end to make sure that I catch as many people as I can, and I talk to and help and pray for. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out that way, or you can email me at info@vlcm.church. One of the admins will make sure that I see it, and I get back with you as soon as possible. I am very approachable, very reachable. Now just be patient with me, because again, I do have a 9 to 5. And so sometimes it takes me a day or two to get back with you, but I will get back with you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me on this, AuthorTube. Yeah, I was praying before I started this AuthorTube tour, and I was like, God, who do I need to have on the platform? And he just showed me the names, and I reached out to every person, and every person said yes.
Wow.
And so y'all, when you're hearing God, when you are afraid, God gives us innovative ideas. He's a God that is a creative God, and he does not run out of ideas, even if it takes a different form and no one else is doing it. And you're wondering, like, oh, I don't see anyone else is doing it, so maybe this is not the right way. Go with what God is showing you. He is letting you know that he has not ran out of creativity. He is letting you know that he has something special for you, and this is the way he wants you to do it. And if you're praying, if you're standing before him, he will show you. He will put those people in your face, and then all you have to do is do your part. Don't allow doubt to come in and make you say, hey, well, they don't want to be on this. They wouldn't want to do this. They're too this. They're too busy. They are on this level and all these things. Do what God tells you to do. And even if you're not sure it's God, do it anyway. That is a good way to, try and see if you are hearing, if you're following after, as some people will say, I just have this gut feeling. But those that are, Christians, you're being led of the Spirit of God. You will know, have that unctioning from the Holy Spirit, like, do this. I'm opening up this door. But every person that I have asked to be a part of this AuthorTube tour, they said yes. And I was even in the order that I wanted every person to be a part of the AuthorTube tour. Every person said yes to the times and the dates, and I'm excited. And I was like, man, Dr. Bunton, I don't know. Lord, are you sure? So I reached out anyway. I'm like, I'm just going to do this. I am a person that said, okay, a no is a no and a yes is a yes. It's not going to hurt anything, So I am so appreciative that she said yes, and that she has a lot of great wisdom that she has shared. So if you are not catching the live, if you're going to catch the replay, you want to get your notepad, you want to get your whatever device that you're using to write down notes, get the notes, because I feel like the information that has been shared is going to help you overcome the challenges that you may have in making it as a writer, whether it's emotional, whether it's any type of physical things that's going on around you, if it's mental, challenges that you're having. She hit in every area, even though we may have not grouped it in those areas, but she talked about every area in business, in ministry, and in family. She talked about every aspect of her life, or being a multi-passionate person. She has 2 churches. She has a daughter. She takes care of her mom. She has her own business. She works a 9-to-5. She's a writer, and she has given a plethora of information and wisdom that will help you realize that you can have it all as a single mom, as a Black single woman, as a leader, or there is. I love dispelling myths. I love breaking limiting beliefs, because there's so many out there, especially when it comes to people of color. And so for us to have people that are making it happen, to say that's a lie, to say you can do this, but this is how you can do it, it does. My words are not, I don't have the words. I don't have how exciting I am for this conversation to happen, to kill the noise, of distraction, to kill the noise of the enemy, to kill your own noise that you may feel as if you are not capable, because you are in this, never in my wildest dreams, circumstance. Jeremiah 29:11 says that I know the thoughts I have towards you, thoughts of good and not of evil, and all those good things that he said. It didn't say, well, the thoughts I had towards you are now ended because you are this, you are a single mom, you are now, and those thoughts are no longer. No, his word will not lie, and it won't return unto him void. So I'm grateful. Are there any last words that you would like to share? Any tips, any wisdom that you would like to give, that you would like to leave?
Sure.
Okay.
Don't allow single parenting to be a boundary. It's not a boundary, and it's not all of who you are. It's a piece of who you are. Don't let singleness be a boundary. Don't let your color be a boundary, because God draws outside the lines. He can open doors for you that no man can shut, even because of your color, in spite of your color, in spite of your gender, all of that. And then the second thing I want to share with you is you can do all of this and still have joy. One of the ways that I have joy is you can't have it by money. You can't have it by happenings. You truly have to have a true and honest relationship with God. When you're upset, go to God. When you're frustrated, go to God. And He can replace your sadness, your frustration with joy. And so when I get upset, when I get disappointed, I tell God about it. I tell my Father about it, and He always handles it. And He tells me what I did wrong so that it doesn't happen again. And so I would encourage you to have open dialogue with the Father. Make sure that you have open dialogue in a prayer life with Him, and He'll make sure that you have joy. Last thing, the third thing I will say this. Mm-hmm. On top of prayer, and a lot of people don't talk about this, and I don't even know why I feel led to say this here. If you need counseling and therapy, it's okay. It's okay to talk to somebody. It absolutely is. God can use a therapist to help you heal. Amen. There's a balm in Gilead, and sometimes that Gilead is a therapist or a counselor, someone that can give you tools to help you heal from the past and help you to have a healthy future. So I hope that helped you today. I hope that encouraged you today. Don't let anything stop you, because God is on your side.
Amazing. I love it. Go get your help. Go get your help. And I do believe that Dr. Bunton may offer, counseling.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
I'm a licensed Christian counselor. So yes, you can reach out to me, BettinaCBunton.com.
You see? There it is. This is why this AuthorTube was needed for, God to just share all the different type of resources and help that He has. And, if you keep your mouth quiet, or if you keep your voice from being heard, if you do not put out there what God has given to you to do, you are going to block someone else's, breakthrough. We don't want to be blockers here. We don't want to stop someone else for getting, the necessary help that they are in need of. I know there's a lot of different platforms out there, a lot of different YouTube channels going on, but what you have is what God is calling you to do, because He knows the community, the people, the assignment. He knows the hurt. He knows the pain. He sees what we can't see, and you have what He wants to put out there into the world. Okay. So I love you all. And you know how we do it. We always end the same way we come in. We're going to end it the same way. So get your little dancey dance out. I have 3 votes for you. I already showed you mine, so do what you do. And we're going to have fun and enjoy the rest of your day. May God bless you. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me for the AuthorTube tour. If you was here with day 1, April the 1st, I love you guys. If this is your 3rd week, I love you guys. If this is your 2nd week, I love you guys. If this is your 1st day, I love you guys. You did not have to do it. You didn't have to show up at any time. But since you did, I appreciate you. And I pray that God gives to you everything that you are asking for, everything that you are in need of, all the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the peace, the grace, whatever it is that you are in need of to make it as a writer. I pray that He pours it into you on this day. I feel God. And I pray that He opens up the windows of heaven and restore our relationships. Any place that has been broken, any person that has been feeling defeated, reconciliation, I speak that into your life, just because you are moving forward in what God has called you to move forward in, and making it as a writer. You didn't stop. You didn't give in. You didn't give up. You didn't allow outside influences to dictate to you who you are called to be. No matter your circumstances, no matter your challenges, no matter what it is, you kept the faith and you kept going. And because of that, I speak a grace over you to get it done. I speak a grace over you to elevate. I speak a grace over you to ascend. I speak a grace over you to break chains through the books, through the assignment that God has given to you. In Jesus' name, it is so, and so it shall be. We're done here. I love you all. Have a blessed day.